Yo, what is up, guys? It's frankylesbeats back again with another video. You read the title, you know what we're doing. So let's go. This is how it sounds. So yeah, that's how it sounds. I'm gonna break it down for you guys. So first things first, the melody. With drill beats, you don't need any complex melodies. You just need something that's sounds dark and repetitive, but it's not too coherent in a sense. But yeah, I added that and I pitched it up all the way up until I had something like this. I could have easily like just chopped the sample from inside of Edison and dropped it in there, but I wanted the sample to have a groove, the melody to have like a bounce. So I just added into Fruity Slicer because Fruity Slicer has this, gives like samples like this clicky feel. You can like drop down the attack so it can be like aggressive, but I didn't. I just wanted it to be like, I just wanted the bounce to be there, but the clicking noise not to be too much. So, and then I added this. That's this other sub melody. I'm pretty sure you heard it. The one, this one, the one that repeats twice. That's actually the same sample, but what I did is I first wanted to get a string. I wanted to get a string that to do the same thing this melody is doing now, but I didn't like how the string sounded, so I was like, why don't I try that by using one of the chops? So I ended up using this chop right here, and as you can hear, when I click this, it doesn't sound like that, because what I did is I actually pitched up the note, as you can see right here. I clicked it and then I pitched it up, which is a neat little trick for you if you want to pitch your samples. But yeah, I have a video explaining how to use a fruity slicer. I have a video on how to use Fruity Slicer and SliceX. It will pop up on your screen somewhere. Just click and go watch after this video though. But yeah, I pitched up that so it can have like this like sonar effect. After that, I went into massive and I wanted something atmospheric, so I found this pad. And there's no processing on it so whatsoever. It's just how it sounded naturally. I didn't want to mess with it by tweaking it or adding any EQs. I just, like, as you can see in the mix, I just dropped it down. I just dropped down the knob so it isn't too present, like, because if it's all the way up, it's like extremely loud. So I did not want that. Then there's this other melody element that comes in like later on the beat. This other pad as well, which I also found inside of Massive. These are the chords I used. You can see that it's just, with pads you can use any type of chords, as long as like you space out the chords to make the pad sound more lush. And yeah, I like to stem my melodies after I record them. Like if I'm certain that this is the melody I'm going to be sticking with, I usually stem out the melody so I save up on CPU. With the drums, I started with the hats. This is the head pattern I went with. Because when I make a beat, I like to make a beat while arranging it. So I added this, I added that, and then I added this, and then I added these hats, and then so yeah, once I added the bass, I was ready to move on to the actual drums. This is what I have for the drums. And then the drums with the hats I made I added them on the drums I made, the hats I made for the intro. As you can hear, there's more elements added to the drum pattern. So this is what the drum pattern looks like. It's just a kick, and then a snare, and then a rim shot, like a rim snare, and then an open hat, and then a triangle. The reason why I added more open hats is because I needed the drums to have a bounce on its own, but I wanted to add something to accent those drums. So in case if I use this pattern in, like if I use this pattern somewhere in the song, and then I don't want to add those hats that I use in the intro, then it'll still make sense because the drums have a bounce. Because if I remove the open hat, doesn't make sense, because it sounds like I was trying to make a house beat and then everything went wrong. So I added those open hats, and then we have that. And then after the drums, I added the 808. I added the 808, and you'll notice that you see that there's more elements inside of this 808 pattern, which I'm gonna explain to you and why I added them. So we have this. This is the 808 pattern, by the way. The reason why I added that is because I wanted an extra bounce. Because with drill beats, I noticed that there's just a different bounce. Like basically with drill beats, the melody does you could basically have a drill song without a melody, in my opinion. The thing that drives a drill beat or a drill song is the percussion and the hi-hats. Like if you can get it like a nice groove, then yeah, you can create a drill song, no melody needed whatsoever. So I added these hats, and I also added this chant just to like something to be just extra. I was just being extra there. I just added that chant, and I like how it sounded. And I also added these hats, but I didn't like how they sounded, because if I play the pattern with the hats, like with this pattern, these hats that I added here, they make sense. But as soon as I add the other hats, the hats that we made for the intro, everything just sounds muddy. So I'm gonna turn off the melody, then you can hear what I'm talking about. So yeah, as you can hear, it sounds so muddy. So I decided to delete, like just mute them. I just muted them because they didn't make sense. So I added these hats to give the song more rhythm. Which is just a pretty basic thing. And then it's pretty much the drums. Now when you add these drums with the hats we made, Without the 808. It's like a nice bounce on its own. You don't even have to like. I can hear a UK rapper rap to this on those drums alone, no melody needed. So after that, I added this thing here. Like it was just this. It was a chant, but I chopped up the length. It was a long melodic chant, so I just chopped that. That's how long the chant was. So I just chopped it up because I only needed the first half of it. So I did that, and then I added it to here. On its own, it sounds like it doesn't even make any sense. But as soon as I play it with this. In the mix, they're like just sitting there, like they're sitting way there, like because I also added a bit of EQ. I just added an EQ just to like subtract those low ends. Then I added a bit of reverb so it can sit nicely in the background. And then this is just performing a delay effect, nothing fancy. I just prefer using that sometimes because the delay just bounces in like in the left ear and the right ear. If you're using headphones, you can hear what I'm talking about. And then once I added that, I wanted to add some extra stuff. So I added this gunshot here. Added this. I also added that, which plays through the second half of the beat. As you can see, it plays here, like it plays to these parts until like towards the end, until towards the outro. I added those rims. But yeah, that was my first attempt at a drill beat. Hopefully I did good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and again, subscribe, like this video, comment on what you want to see next. Let's try and get to 500 subscribers, people. That drum kit is loading. So yeah, peace.